Hey, I'm ElusiveKev, and welcome back to Baja Control HD as we're doing the final league in the full-size truck league, so the league with the circuit racing. As we have got the Billy Dog Triple Crown League, 6 races long. Let's get right into it as we're going to the Coconut Vista and the Coconut Island. As here we are around the sandy shores, the sunny shores. Coconut Island. For 5 lap race. This is going to be the normal now, 5 laps long, all these races. So you get a good start around Dave Turner. He's got Nick in front. So we go side by side onto the beach front. Around the outside of Mike Jenkins, down Bob Graham as well. So I've got Curtis in front. Looks like someone's going for an alternate line. Looks like it's Jerry, he's doing it. As we go up into second. And this is not a very long track here at all. And looks like we're going to regain in the lead. We've got the yacht again. The people are still here on the yacht, watching the racing. Well, how long have they been there? They run out of food or something? Sure they have. Maybe they go hunt on this island and we're just, killing all the meat for them. Of course, we don't harm virtual animals though. As you saw in the last episode, we avoided that virtual rabbit near the end. So on to the second lap. 55.4 that opening out, so that time's around 45 seconds long, maybe 40. So let's take the Jerry line on the coast where we wave to our mechanics and the lot. So there goes the engine on the second lap. It's like Curtis up to second, or is he? See the one that's holding up that train at the top of the mountain, while we're at the bottom we can just cruise along, rejoining the lead. No, it is Curtis in second. No, it's Bob Graham in second. It's changing all the time. That's all, that's a bit wide. Oh, we just found an alternate route. Look at that. That's how you Mario Kart this. There's a 48.88. There goes the shocks and clutch as well. So they're definitely going to have to pit this, so we're going to stick to the lower line. We've definitely had a fun time in this full-size truck class. Been very easy, perhaps too easy, in these circuit races, which have been a bit disappointing. But these trucks have been great fun to drive. Definitely got some grunt. A bit fragile. A bit more fragile than we expected, maybe. But thanks for the punt, Dave Turner. As we're halfway through this race, we're the only one who pitted. So all these trucks in front are in our way. As we get into Jerry, what's that, Greg Adler? We've got Curtis in front. As we're going to head on to the penultimate lap of the race. There we go, that's how you take that corner. Looking to the outside, made Bob Graham run wide. So you cut down the inside and take back that lead. He's gone to the fourth lap. Get out of the power over these bumps at the beginning of the lap. Let's go downhill. We'll take this line again. There you see. Avoided that virtual bunny as well. Definitely animal friendly we are as a driver. As we've got Bob Graham in second. It really is changing behind. As we've got a few guys pitting. A few have just gone up. That's why their car's barely moving. That's an interesting decision. They may be stuck up there for the rest of the race, Bob Graham and Greg Adler. Or are they? So we've got to go in a bit wide. Keep on the power. He's gone to the final lap. Did a fastest lap, 48.23. I don't think it's worth pitting on this final lap with how short the lap is. And with our engine only being damaged. And with the lead we've got of over 20 seconds on Mike Jenkins. I think we're safe this final lap. Might even lap a couple of guys. Look at that. Did they get stuck on the top of the mountains? There goes the shocks and clutch. Let's go taking that line beautifully. Getting some drift on for our guests on the yacht. I've just got a couple of corners to go before we win again in the full-size truck. It's not quite a 100% record because, of course, in the last race, we're very kind to our fellow competitors. Didn't want to be stranded in that last league. as we win by over 30 seconds ahead of Curtis and Bob Graham in third, Joey fourth, Dave Turner fifth, Mike Jake in sixth, Wing Lamb in seventh, Nick in eighth, and Greg Addo at the back. So a fantastic start. Let's see if we continue around the Broken Arrow track in Lake Powell. As we are getting underway for the second race on Broken Arrow. Definitely is the name of this track, which is holding another 5-lap race. Let's get down the inside, got a very tight corner. Chaos in front, and there goes Ring Lamb. There goes the tyres in front. Well, this track is too tight for these trucks, surely. He's got a group of 4 in front. Leaders making a run for it. I don't blame them either after that first couple of corners. So it goes slot on the inside. Look at that. Through the middle. There's this Curtis making a leg for it. We've of course trying to gain on him. He might be our main rival in this championship, in this league. They've been strong so far. We've got Bob Graham as well. And they're pretty strong in that first race. Get down the inside of Curtis. Not quite making the move. Maybe into the final corner. There we go. Gave him racing room. Don't know why you're complaining, you know. That's how you make moves in off-road racing. It's do or die sometimes. You know, it's like, you know, Death Proof, all those films. You know, that is off-road racing. As Cannonball Run as well. Let's go on to the second lap. We've destroyed our vehicle. Still got Curtis behind us and Bob Graham. We built a bit of a gap. So it looks like we destroyed a tyre. So momentum's definitely being killed. It's not the rear tyres. It's not the front ones. Let's go through this section, through that chicane. That's nicely done. Look at it, Curtis trying to hang on to us. Doing a good job. Well, Bob Graham's doing a good holding job behind as well, allowing us to have a 5-second lead on everyone else. So we go on to the pits for the first time. So is Curtis. There's Bob Graham. Yeah, everyone is pitting on this lap. So that's going to allow us to build a 10-second lead again. But for some reason our mechanics are just so much better as well. Everyone else is. I mean, we do supply them beer throughout the day. I haven't seen the other teams doing that. That's maybe why. Always motivated, you know. And maybe they're not actually fixing our car as well. No, they're just pretending to put the tyres on because they are a bit drunk. So maybe that's why it's so quick. They just think they're amazing. And they're not. So we've got a 6.9 second lead. There goes the remaining set of tyres. Had to be done. Can't have a lone survivor going on there. As we're around halfway through this race, we've got a cone attached to us. Didn't even ask it for dinner. Seems to love our truck. Let's go very wide. There goes the tyre. Looks like it's the right rear. And once again, we're going to have to repair our vehicle. Despite it being a shortish lap, definitely I'm going to have to repair our vehicle every lap, it looks like, the rest of the way. Maybe on the final lap we can get away with it. It's both rear tyres. Look at that. That is how you park your vehicle. As you can see, you can rejoin quickly. Not in front of Curtis though. He takes the lead. Got Nick in third. But it's like they're all heading to the pits. So they know they've all bypassed it. As we go down the inside, Curtis into our favourite corner. Now we should be able to race away from him. We can keep the truck on a old straight and narrow over these bumps. Into the final corner. Going to the penultimate lap of the race. And slow down, use the banking, use the momentum to go around these corners. Slight down the brakes as well into the hairpin. Look at that, almost got a 6-second lead over Curtis already in half of that. Once again, unfortunately, our opponent's just not knowing how to pit or when to pit. Really just rowing it sometimes compared to this league. Almost all of the leagues. So you go into the left-hander. Got over a 10-second lead now. Looks like Nick's catching up to Curtis. He's head towards the pit once again. Towards our drunk pit crew. Park in the centre. And we're away quickly. Way out of Curtis this time. See, shows you the difference of when you don't pit a lap. But to when you do pit every lap. Now it's at least going to be a 20-second difference in it. It's like on the time and 30 seconds in front. That can't be right. Yeah, it's around 20-second difference. So that's why you've got to pit every lap. As there goes the engine again. We're not even on to the final lap yet. We just saw those chimneys in front. It was like, I'm going to be sick as well. Oh no, it's fine again. Engine can't decide if it's ill or not. Wonderful. So I don't think we're going to pit on the final lap. Oh no, it's decided it's ill again. It's like someone's stuck in the pits though. We will free you. But just like we did in the last league in the final race. That's why we don't have a 100% record. I didn't have a 100% record in that last league. Because we're playing Good Samaritan. We didn't want, you know, those drivers stuck. Therefore, who God knows how long. You know, no one else is gonna help them. So here we go. Free. Oh no, he's stuck into the thing. Okay, we won't be able to free you. We may have just caused you a bit more whiplash though. And maybe a concussion. Maybe see a doctor after the race. That didn't quite help. They may have made things worse, I think, that manoeuvres. They're not pitting behind. The final lap. Don't blame them. As once again the engine just playing with us. As we've got a 7-second lead over Curtis. Nick's gained on him, but able to make the move. He's just got a couple of corners to go. As we win once again. Another convincing victory over Bob Graham in second. Where did he come from? Hello, Curtis and Nick. Then we got Wing in fifth, Mike in sixth, Jay in seventh, Dave in eighth, Greg. We don't know if he's alive or not. So we head to the third race of the league around the Dead Man Wash track by the Hyundai Salt Flats. As here we are in the desert. Another 5-lap race. Has got a superb start compared to Ring Lamb in front. Looking to the outside already. As all it looks like Nick was so away. And at the start, we're already up to third, are we? Could maybe make the move for the lead. Into the opening corner. Dive down the inside. Not good enough cutback. Might get past Jerry, but not Curtis. He definitely is our main rival this championship. As it's this track. The old bumps and undulations. Good high-speed track as well. There you go, on to the salt flat parts. Oh, we've landed on Curtis. That's not good. He's got away. That's going to drop down to 8th. Are we? Greg. I'm not sure if he knows where he is. I'm surprised he's driving in this race, but he's in the last. So he goes to shocks and clutch. Here goes the engine. There's the pit. So we're not going to do it on this first lap. I think we can survive till the second. That's why those issues are rising just before the pits as we catch up to the magnificent 7 in front. Make it 8 now. As you're trying to go past Cherry, that's not how you do it. Luckily the cactuses keep us alive as there goes another spare tyre. Luckily we have like 10 on board. Let's destroy some fences as well. No, let's not get stuck in a rock. What are you doing, truck? Has he got Greg in front? Push us, Greg. That's it, Greg. Maybe we should have gone to the pits. As we're going to be in last going on to the second lap. But everyone else is going to be damaged like a hell as well. Apart from Greg maybe who pitted, because he's quite a way back. And now he's gaining like a hell. Is Greg Aguilar putting off a shock here? They're just struggling to reach 60 miles per hour. Get it down to second, keep those revs up. So there we go, downhill, that should help. Reach almost 80. Now we're flying. As you can see, Greg in front. We're actually gaining on Greg. I thought he was gaining like a hell on everyone else. Well, he is. And we're gaining on him, so... It shows how damaged everyone is as they're virtually in a line. They've got all 9 of us together. Apart from Curtis. As all, he went into the back of Nick in it. So did Greg. Get by into Sif. We're surviving just. As here we go. Everyone into the pits. That is how you stop for the pits. Use everyone else. Someone has gone wide again on the outside. There's a side by side with Dave Turner. He thinks we've got a rivalry, but I keep beating him, so I'm not sure we do. He's got Jerry in front. We've got Ring Lamb as well. But who's leading? It's Bob Graham, one of our main rivals. I gave him a car's rip on the outside, and then I didn't. So, still think that's a fair move. As we head on to the third lap of this race, the halfway mark. Looks like we're leading just ahead of Bob Graham. Despite a disastrous end to that opening lap. What a difference that makes. As we've got a couple of guys way at the back. Looks like we've got a group of 5 here. Then someone who's within binocular distance. And then there's got a few guys at the back battling for scraps. As there goes the engine and the shocks and clutch. So building this lead on Bob Graham on this lap. It's like none of the tyres have gone, though. So we're able to keep the momentum up. But it's this section where we're going from one side to the other, balance-wise, but gets it pretty straight there. Let's go into the pits for the second time. Looks like Bob Graham is as well, so is Ring Lamb. Everyone's pitting. But it looks like we're just going to build up our lead then to almost 10 seconds again. Pattern remains the same, unfortunately, in this league. Hopefully the rallies are interesting. Now, we've still got the couple of rallies coming up. Then we've got a hill climb, and then we've got the Open Class Challenge, which always seems to be the most difficult part of these leagues, these class leagues. Especially the last one, that was bloody odd. Had to get it down to easier opponents as well. Normally we have the hard opponents, but a bit uneasy. The last Open Class Challenge in the mini trucks, but I've heard that is the hardest one in the game, so we should be fine the rest of the way. As once again, there goes the engine and the shocks and clutch. No surprise, as we do have around 10-second lead over Bob Graham. Got Jerry in third. Not doing badly. Bob Graham finishes there. He'll be second in the league. He'll be leading, of course. Wonder where Curtis is, though. Because he's the other one who could challenge us in this league. But he's had a poor race. So we pit and gain the lead easily. So they're just going through that final corner before the pits. We're going into the first one out of the pits. And they're all pitting as well. Probably won't be doing that on the final lap though. Because it's not that long this lap, of course, and you only got around 30 seconds after the lap after the pits, so you can just about survive that, even with damage. Now, after the first lap, I'm not totally sure. Let's go for the final corner, drifting the truck around, and on to the final lap of this race. It might have been a challenge after the opening of that, but just powering through again. Do like this course though. Good selection of jumps, of bumps, of speed. A bit more high speed. A couple of different environments as well, the desert and the salt flats. Just good all round. As there goes the engine, shocks and clutch again. We've got half of that to go, so we're not going to pit. As Jerry's up to second ahead of Bob Graham. Jerry putting a blinder on us. Love that. We say goodbye to our pit crew until the next round. As in, it's like they're battling for second, third, then there's a couple battling for fourth and fifth, then sixth is just lonely. And 7th, 8th and 9th seem to be a bit lonely now as well. On to the final lap. On this final lap. Let's go almost a 30-second lead over Jerry. As we go for the last couple of corners in our battered mobile. We go on to another victory in this league. Can barely make it across the line. As we said, a minute 29.83 on that final lap and beat Mike Jenkins by 37 seconds. Then Greg Adder in third. Great job from Greg, despite not knowing where he is. Then Curtis in fourth, Nick in fifth, Bob Gray in sixth, Jerry in seventh, Dave Turner in eighth, and Wing Lam, would have been so strong all race long, in ninth. As with another victory, head into the second half of the season to the Nevada environment and the Laughlin Desert. As here's our beast in desert. We're going to 5 that race. We're not the engine for the lights to go off. Let's see if this is another short track or not. As you go into the tree at the start, that is how you like to begin your races, you know. As you've got the casinos not far away. Hopefully our pit crew aren't in there for the race. It's a very flat track, this middle part. To get past Nick. Looks like someone's already way back. He's pushing us wide, but just about staying in front of him. We've got Mike Jenkins in front. Got a very tight hairpin. Make sure you don't go into Mexico. Don't break yourself. So here comes Greg into us. Got a taste of a podium. Wants it again. And it's like it's the same kind of average track length time. That's how you're meant to take that corner. That's how everyone else takes that corner, okay? Isn't it? So we've got Jerry and Curtis battling for the win. Oh, it's this one with the moves under the bridges. No, successfully under the bridges, you know. That's how you're meant to do it. Like this. There we go. As we're in 7th behind Mike Jenkins. Got Dave Turner behind. Everyone's pairing off. We're the lone wolf here. Not with a partner. Nick down the inside for the top 5. Nick's there though. Somehow survives on 2 wheels, so you make it 3 wide. Try and make it up alongside Greg. That did not work out. So back down to 6th again. Actually, this is a longer track. I remember this now. So got the jump at the end. Might have to pit at the end of this opening that. Because look at that, we've destroyed the engine again. And shocks and clutch. Get down the inside. We've got 2 minutes to wait. Our next pit. So let's stop. We've got into Nick, who's now blocking everyone else. Good job, Nick. Oh, that's not Nick. That's Mike Jenkins, is it? No, that was Nick. Was that Nick? That was, wasn't it? It was sideways. But we're in 5th. Anyway, on to the second lap. So we definitely will repeat on the last lap, but every other lap we will. Down the inside of Jerry into 4th. Got Curtis in front. Bob Graham in front as well. Our title rivals who's leading. And there's Greg in 3rd. Looking very good in the middle part of this league. So is Bob Graham as well, our main challenger. As we go around his outside though and easily take the lead. And he took around a lap and a 3rd. So that's a palm tree out of nowhere. Go take the normal line. Keep your momentum up, see if we can reach over 100 miles per hour. But you're just flat out until bridge corner. Slight lift, that's how you're meant to do it. Not try and do it on 2 wheels, that didn't work. Again into this corner, slight lift. And full on the power. He's already building that lead over. Curtis is up to 2nd, Dave to 3rd. It's down to Bob Graham, he's falling back. I was about to say, that was a long time until the engine has said goodbye. We got 90 seconds after that. We did that. So you take that wide on. We're definitely not taking that inside on again. With that right hand. That was very slow. Not very good for us. So go take that wide line. So there goes the suction clutch as well. That's got over a 5-second lead over Curtis. He's got over a 5-second lead ahead of Dave Turner. Kind of spreading out the top 3. Go into the hairpin. Into the pit stop again. We're going to free you, Cone. From this pit stop. There you go. That'll get trapped under our car. Or truck, should I say. Have to go into the 3rd lap. Looks like everyone else is pitting as well. Set 2 minute 19.87. Imagine the final out then we'd be able to like a 2:15 or something like that. We just keep it clean for the rest of the lap though, which is a very big if. Even though this track isn't that challenging, you know, you just have these corners where you're going to need to carry speed into them like this hairpin, so you can easily outbrake yourself. That's about it. Most of the way you don't have too many bumps that are egregious, or no jumps which are going to take out your wheels. And then you just a flat deck and flat out as well. It's still around 5 seconds ahead of Dave Turner, but now 15 seconds behind. Now see, he lost 10 seconds in the pit stops. Ridiculous. Let's go under the bridges. And there goes the engine already on this lap. We'll go flat out into the second couple of bridges. That was pretty good. Make sure the traffic doesn't go over the edge and land on you. Very important. There's like Curtis and Dave Turner having a battle for second. No, the gap is still the same. No, they're closing up for a sec there, but Curtis still in control of second place. Where's Bob Graham in all this? That's a big question. Let's repair the fences, you know, for these sections. There you go. This is probably the most difficult corner because then you go downhill into this jump. You want to carry the speed through there. So you're landing on all 4s. We did not do a good job of that though. I'm surprised the shocks and clutch have gone. So we'll make another pit stop at the end of this 3rd lap, over halfway through this race. So we'll get it down to 1st. We're getting into reverse. Another good job from our pit crew. We'll have another beer before the next races. We did not hear that virtual rabbit. That was running behind us. Okay, has gone to the penultimate lap of the race. At the wide line. Yeah, just the problem with this track, maybe just how wide open it is. Because you can definitely fit 3 trucks through here, like the last track. Which, as you saw, we're going to struggle to fit 3 trucks through. So you're having wide open sections. There's not enough challenge around here. As we go downhill to the right-hander. You can just even lift off the throttle and just let the truck take the camber there around the outside of the corner. Get momentum up as you've got almost a 20-second lead ahead of Curtis. Dave Turner's gained though, it looks like. Oh, they are battling now. They are battling for second. That's good to see. This is a bit of a wild line. As there goes the engine once again. Looks like Curtis has survived ahead of Dave Turner though. Good to see David's called up to him though. Can distract him, make him sorrow as well. You can just put out in the lead. Just about see him on the map. Everyone else is so spread out though. There's like at least like 3 seconds gaps between everyone behind the battle for second. So no wonder this race has got a bit dull, unfortunately. As they're just cruising in the lead again, trying to make it 4 from 4. Let's see if we can get this corner right. That's better. Or he's using the shocks and clutch before the jump. Surely it makes sense if we lose it, after we've landed. Got another hardy banked corner with the right hander, then into the pits for the final time. Take a cone with us and get away. That was definitely a hot pit stop. So it looks like Curtis got a couple second gap over Dave. Oh, they are close. And into their final pit stop probably. As we go on to the final lap. This race, been a long one. This 4th race of the league. With another victory, we're virtually there already, I think, with 4 victories. Curtis had the odd bad race. Bob Graham doesn't seem to be anywhere this race. Could, of course, still be in 4th and still have a decent result, but that's not where he wants to finish. That's to finish on the podium if he wants to challenge us. Go downhill into the right-hander. To that hairpin, and look at that, Curtis and Dave right on top of each other. Heading into the hairpin. We've got a gap of over 20 seconds. It's just remained consistent, this gap, since we built it up these last couple of laps. And just managed to throttle over this section. Have hardly any throttle as well. Let's go under the bridges. Engine still crying for help though. How weak are the engines in these? As the gap's almost 30 seconds out over Curtis, as he's got Dave Graham right. Oh, he did have Dave Graham right at his tail. Not Dave Graham, Dave Turner. And now there's a gap of almost 10 seconds. What happened there? So let's take the inside line. Let's see how slow this is. Oh, that's not that bad actually. I should keep momentum up that time. Yeah, so the gap is now around 5 seconds for the battle for second. So there goes the shocks and clutch. Dab the brakes that time. Into the right hand as we've just got 1 corner to go for the 4th victory out of 4 races. Another job done in these full-size trucks. Definitely love these full-size trucks. They are fun to drive. Once again, no opposition as you set a new record. 2:11.81. I thought we were around 2:15. As it's actually Jerry does the fastest lap in it. It's like 2:11.21. As Dave is in second. We've got Nick in 4th, Curtis in 5th, Bob Graham in 6th, Mike Jake in 7th, Wing Lam in 8th, Greg Adder at the back. So another victory. And heading to the penultimate race of the season around the Auburn Hills track. In the Peters environment, we're looking very good for another title, which we could potentially clinch here under some late afternoon sun in the desert after this 5-lap race. This could be another very long race looking at this track already. He's already get past Dave Turner, got Ringham in front. Into the inside, into the left-hander. Slot in front. As old Greg Adder gets it wrong. He had such a good beginning to that last race, but as he fell off a cliff. You go into the hairpin, looking down the inside of Jerry, who's got Nick behind, we've got Curtis behind as well. And so we've got Bob Graham leading. Just. It says the pits. Oh, maybe it's not a long lap then. No, it's Mike Jenkins leading. Where's Bob Graham then? Definitely win the championship if the result stays the same now, as there goes the tumbleweed into Nick. Doesn't slow him down though. That's a bit difficult to see with Nick right on our arse though. Oh, so we've got a very tricky chicane coming up. And downhill. Oh, past Jerry like he wasn't even there. And oh, Mike, what you doing? Destroying the fence. There goes the right picket. Let's go into the lead. Doing the old block pass on him. Old motorcycle move, that. Works equally as well in a truck. Yes, this is just the start-finish straight. So it is actually quite a short lap then. And we have that time to around 1:25 probably. So going to the second lap. There goes the engine. No surprise. We managed to throttle through that first corner. Very fast first corner. Just need to manage it over the bumps really. There you go. Get it slowed down a bit early. Use that banking. That's an easy getaway. Don't need to pit on this second lap either. It's just the engine that's affected, but we're keeping momentum up. And it's pretty fast track as well. Do quite like it. It's got Jerry in second ahead of Mike. Ahead of Nick now. He's come out to battle. He's got a couple of guys pitting. There might have been Jenkins that pit. He's going to be at the back, but because of a repaired vehicle, should be sliced in like a knife through butter through the field. To go into this fast chicane as they go to shocks and cuts, so definitely pitting on the third lap. And then we pit on the fourth lap and then probably not on the fifth. So we're going to have to pit twice this race maybe. He's got a 10-second gap over Jerry, but we've got no speed. Look at this. Heading on to the start-finish straight. Got to get the revs up, trying to get momentum going. Have we damaged the tyre? Or is it just the engine being damaged? He's got a 7-second gap from Jay, minute 27.35, so not quite minute 25 yet. Let's go through the first corner. This time we don't have the modulator throttle at all. Just go flat out. And this like Nick's struggling. Not Nick, Jerry's struggling behind. Nick's powered through into second. Not a tumbleweed. Hit that to the counter. So we go through the bank turn, didn't even need to lift. Another tumbleweed. Tumbleweed everywhere. That's all Nick slowing down as well. Let's go into the pits for the first time on the third lap. The halfway mark of this race as well. Get away quickly. I think everyone else is going to be pitting then behind. Apart from that one person who pitted early. Maybe. No, it doesn't look like everyone is pitting. If Nick in second, ahead of Curtis. No, Curtis up to second. Let's look how long they're held in the pits. They've just been released now. That is like 10 seconds slower than our pit group. That is ridiculous. It's Greg Aldo up to third. Welcome back, Greg. To the big time. Nick doing a very good job in second though. Found a way. That's good for championship, of course, with Curtis and Bob Graham finishing down the order at the moment. So go on to the fourth lap, which the speeds of 120 miles per hour for this first corner. Not quite the 140 which we've already hit in this truck, but still down quick. And the desert over bumps, over massive jumps as well. So you get it really slowed down. So that hairpin has, of course, the engine is gone. Might just have to pit once this race. We're not going to be pitting this lap at least, with just the engine just gone. He's got a lead over 20 seconds out of Nick. Got Jerry in third. The podium places still remain the same. It's like everyone else is just paired up behind us. You can see Nick and Jerry are right on each other's tails. Oh, is everyone in the pits now? So that's what's happening. Go through the chicane, not quite into the fence. The mess that Jenkins left. We go into the start-finish straight and head on to the final lap of this race. Another straightforward race. Maybe a championship clinching race as well. So there we go, minute 27.91. That's more like the speeds I expected by lap times. So it goes to shocks and clutch. You can probably survive to the end of the race. They've still got speeds of over 100 miles per hour. They've not lost too much momentum. So far, and it's like people are stuck in the pits. Is everyone behind been stuck in the pits? Because we're building this gap on Nick and Jerry. Oh no, they're just out of the pits now. We're a gap of almost 40 seconds behind. As you wave to our pit crew. Only pitting once this race. This gap's around 30 seconds. Maybe they are gaining us. So side by side, Jerry and Nick. And start finish straight, I'm guessing. So we've got speeds over 70 miles per hour, over 80. Especially with the jump coming up, we get some momentum out of this. As there's Bully Dog advertising to the right hand side with a billboard in the middle of the desert. I'm not sure how useful that is advertising wise. I'll have to think of the location for that. So go another Tumbleweed to... Let's try and take this to the finish line. Come on, Tumbleweed. No, why have you gone behind us? Why have you gone your own path, Tumbleweed? As we take another victory and possibly the league. As we want ahead of Jerry, won that race on battle with Nick in the end by around 4 seconds. As we're around 37 seconds in front of him. Then we've got Curtin in 4th, Dave Turner in 5th, Greg Aller in 6th, Bob Graham down in 7th, Ringham in 8th, Mike Jenkins at the back. So heading into the final race of this league, the Ventana Mesa track on the Canyon de Shelly. So here we are, starting at the bottom of a corner, it looks like, or in the middle of a corner. At the bottom of a ridge has got a 5-lap race. And there's the pits right at the start. That's good to know. Looks like Greg Adler and Wing Lamb trying to get together early. Wing, get over. He's getting to Bob Graham. We've got Curtis in front. We've got another very tight and twisty course, like all these Canyon de Shelly tracks, or mostly. Should go around the outside of Curtis. Got the inside for the next corner. That's worked beautifully. As Mike Jenkins messed up. Now alongside Nick. We've got Jerry in front. Oh, we're breaking up the dream team there. Jerry and Nick. There's our house on the outside. I know it's looking a bit run down, but we'll fix it up. As it's a very short lap here as well to end the season. I was having laps over 2 minutes long. It's now just under a minute. We're showing minute 20 as the last race. Wasn't too bad. This is like a go-kart track compared to most of the tracks on the calendar, which have been average or long tracks. As there goes the engine already on the second lap. Can we make it through this race without pitting? Let's try that in the final race of this league, because we've got an almost 10-second gap already on Nick and Jerry. We're renewing acquaintances. There's a bit of a gap from 5th to the bottom 4, it looks like. And you've got 4 drivers behind right on each other's tails. As you go on to the third lap, set a new record, 51.59. It looks like Joe's building a gap over Nick though, around 5 seconds. And someone's definitely going to pay for that fence after the race. Disgraceful. After the first ever already being destroyed. I'll let them race here. On this environment. On this tricky course. Let's go through the left-hander. Downhill through this middle section. It's a bit like the last track with that chicane section. It's much tighter. Not much room for two trucks around there. But still, it's only the engine that's gone as we're over halfway through this race. About to head on to the penultimate lap of the race as well. Really is flying by. And there goes the shocks and clutch, as I mentioned it, of course. And still, we're building a good gap over Jerry. He's got a good gap over Nick. Or did. Needs to be close again. Seems like timing's just getting a bit muddled. As Nick's got a bit of a group behind him. Actually, not behind him. He's only got one car behind him. It's the next group. Seems like the bottom five are all together. I know last is struggling slightly. No one's pitting, though. No surprise this race. So you can definitely go the whole race without pitting. It's going to be how much we're going to win this race by, I think. It's the only question left to answer. This show's definitely built a gap behind to third and fourth. As we're about to go on to the final lap of this race. Final lap of the leagues. The full-size truck class. Definitely been very enjoyable with this truck. Been virtually unbeatable. Let's try and keep this that time under a minute. Get down to first, use the momentum off that bank. Just about held on. We ran it in too deep as everyone is pitting behind though. Okay. So Nick up to second, ahead of Mike Jenkins. Jerry's dropping back. There's a group of three now battling for second. There's no Jerry back up to third now, battling with Nick. No, he's ahead of Nick. Way ahead of Nick. Looks like we're not able to lap anyone, unfortunately. Looks like they're all being released from the pits in time. As we win by almost 30 seconds there. Dave Turner in second out of nowhere. Jerry in third, Bogro in fourth, Greg Adder in fifth, Nick down to sixth, Mike Jenkins seventh, Curtis out Wingham in ninth. So what a league, no doubt winning every race. Winning by a country mile ahead of Jerry, Curtis and Bob. And you've got Dave Turner in fifth, Nick in sixth, Mike Jenkins seventh, Greg Adder eighth, and Wingham at the back. So we've got the GT Motorsports truck, Intersect Racing truck, that's a great name, then Fedric Racing as well. So next time out in the full-size truck class, we're going to be taking part in the rallies, the Painless Lonesome Dove Rally. I'm sure it's not painless or lonesome. Then the FabTech White Horse Rally. But I hope you enjoyed the circuit leagues. Certainly have, with all the winning we've been doing. Will be a different case in the rallies next time out. So out for watching and find out then.